Do I have a second? Been moved and seconded that we reconvene in open session. Ms. Haskey?
Yes.
Ms. George?
Yes.
Ms. Aspas?
Yes.
Mr. Montoya?
Yes.
Myself, yes. The board discussed in executive session only the subject identified in the agenda as the reason for which the meeting was closed. Discussion of limited personnel matters regarding consideration of complaints against an individual, public employee, and the superintendent's contract as permitted by NMSA 1978, Section 10-15-1H2 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act. Number 7, other action items, approval of superintendent contract. Do we discuss that here?
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
right? We
Just make the motion to
the
approve.
motion to approve the contract.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the superintendent contract for Mr. Carlson to extend him a contract beginning the 1st of July with a salary of $140,000 a year. The contract to last for 1 year from 2022 to 2023. Is that right, Pat?
Yes, sir. It is a one-year contract, and it will be beginning July 1, 2022 and ending June 30th, 2023 is my understanding.
I'll make a motion to approve the superintendent contract as stated from July 1st, 2022 to June 30th,
I second.
2023, with the amount that has also been stated at $140,000.
Been moved and seconded that the approval of the superintendent contract. Ms. Askey?
Yes.
Ms. George?
Yes.
Ms. Aspas? Where'd you go? I thought you disappeared over there.
Yes.
Mr. Montoya?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Item B, termination of Superintendent Benavides' contract. Do I have a motion for termination of his contract?
I make a motion.
Do I have a second? I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Motion fails.
Motion failed.
I would like to motion for a reprimand.
It has been moved that a reprimand be, rather than termination, a reprimand be made to Superintendent Benavides for do I have a motion for that?
Can you stay what you just said?
I need a motion. Rather than terminate, to reprimand, to issue a reprimand to Daniel Benavides.
The motion.
Do I have a second to that?
Did motion? Oh, she motioned. So you need a second. Then I second.
Oh, I didn't hear you, sorry. Speak up over there.
May 28th.
Been moved and seconded that we issue a reprimand to Superintendent Daniel Benavides. Mr. Montoya?
No.
Ms. Aspas?
Yes.
Ms. George?
Yes.
Ms. Haskey?
Yes, and I like to make a comment in regards to why I'm voting yes. Because there were terms that were set forth in regards to the admin leave that were violated, that I feel that were violated. So I am voting for the reprimand because those terms that were set were not abided by. Thank you.
And myself, yes. Item 9, requested action items for reports.
Oh, can,
Oh,
wait, hold on.
we need to vote on that. Oh, we did vote on it.
Mr. President, may we get some advice or a motion to rescind item J as we first voted unanimously for the 6 classrooms before we were option 3, and option 3 was 12 million, because we overlooked the immersion class. They'll need 6 classes, and then also the little kids program, Parents as Teachers, they don't have an office to work out of, and to start their program at Newcomb, they would need a room. So one of those 6 classes would be that, and then also to include the heritage classrooms for their immersion program. And this would be in accordance with the Yazzie Martinez case, and if we don't do that, we would be in violation of the Martinez-Yazzie. So if we could rescind to our very first vote, which we unanimously voted in the first place, before we were given the last minute notice from Ms. Thompson on the adequacy that was included from PSFA with the additional 4 classes that would give us 6, but we need actually the first vote where there was 6 classes.
Is that your motion?
Oh.
Is that your motion?
Yes, that's my motion.
Then I will second it because we do want to stay in compliance with the Yazzie Martinez case, and those 2 heritage rooms that were going to be used for something else are already, there's already a plan for that. And I think I'll leave it at that.
Mr. Mart,
Are we having
Okay.
a discussion here? What are we doing?
Rescinding.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, Mr. President.
Well, I'm confused here. We,
If I'm not mistaken, we took a vote, then we approved the 6, then we rescinded it, and we took it because we figured that in the conversation after it was presented to us, that in effect, you're gonna get 6
you're gonna
additional
get
rooms.
6 classrooms.
And then it was changed again. So, because again, the way it was explained, because we're
Adequacy provided us
adequacy
with
provided 2
2
extra
extra
rooms.
rooms.
And that's what PSFA was gonna pay for. And then it was changed and modified so we can do just 4 rooms, which in effect is
Get
6
6.
rooms. So are we saying that we're going to recant again and do 2 more additional rooms on top of the,
So that's 8?
So what we're saying is we want to go with option 3, our previous vote,
so that's 8 rooms.
because that would house parents as teachers, and it would also house the immersion and the heritage classes, and to be in accordance with Yazi Martinez.
How would that,
How would that suffice
Change
to
Yazzie
Yazzie
Martinez.
for additional 6 rooms?
Because it's,
we have never discussed having 8 rooms.
The way I gather, or what I heard, and from Candace, is in the original design of the school is 2 rooms assigned to the heritage, right? In the initial design. Okay, now she has come forward and saying that, or it's been said in previous meetings that heritage rooms, the 2 rooms, were available, and the request of the community was 6 rooms, right? So, instead of, going with Candace and Mr. Montoya, instead of doing that, they said, so the heritage rooms that were initially in the design, the 2 rooms, so we would only need 4 rooms. But it's become, well, somebody enlighten us about, we need those 2 heritage rooms in order to comply with Yazi Martinez. So it's not in Candace's, you can't just say that they're gonna be used, or PFCA, or they can't say that we're gonna use those 2 rooms and not use them for heritage. But in order to keep in compliance with Yazi Martinez, we have to use those 2 rooms for that purpose. So the 6 rooms is still back on the table, and we still need 6 rooms. And really, don't use the new math and say 8 rooms. It's still 6 rooms. And if we stay with the other one, then we are not complying.
Where did this new information come to light, Yazzie Martinez? When was that presented?
When you think about the whole, the option 2, option 3, as I sat here, I looked at the options, and those were not considered. So I feel like the information that Candace provided was really not helpful because it doesn't bring in the original intent of staying in compliance with Yazzie Martinez. You have the 6 rooms for the dual language program, but you also need the 2 additional rooms that were already allocated for something else. And then it was tossed in thinking that we remedied the situation, but we didn't, because we took 2 classrooms that shouldn't have been thrown into the mix into option 2. So we were initially, I feel initially, we were correct in selecting option 3.
So if you're 50 students less under adequacy, and option 4 additional rooms, now it's gonna take, again, I'm just going by what the state calls a full classroom, which is 25 kids. That's 100 more students that they're gonna have to try to fill in there. And then again, I'm still trying to, somebody help me figure out the Yazzie Martinez and how that equates into the additional rooms, and how that standard is met. Where does it say in Yazzie Martinez to build, where you have to provide that additional class space?
The Martinez-Yazzie indicates that the classroom size plus Navajo Nation is still under COVID guidelines, which are social distancing. You have to have, we have to accommodate these students. And I understand the enrollment numbers, but we have parents as teachers that they're trying to start that program there in Newcomb area, and they don't have a space. Really, they're not even in any of the schools to start their program. They're here in Kirtland, but I mean, to start their program there, that adds, with parents coming in, extended family coming in, like you had mentioned before when we previously voted the first time, you had stated that if those rooms were going to be used for community, for extra activities, extra events, that's where that parents as teachers, because they work events after school, during school, off regular school days to work with those families, work with the young parents, and parents that are parents as teachers, and also, the heritage classes. They also do a lot of traditional teachings that are in the evening and on early release days, so to say, butchering with the students. That's a big event. And just going back to your previous, you were in favor of voting the original, which would have been the option 3, 12 million instead of option 2 at 10 million, because I have that in my notes right here. 6 additional classrooms for PAT, parents as teachers, extended learning, and that's what we voted for in the first place. And we all know what Martinez-Yazzie is. It's just compliance with all students and making sure that their accommodations are all straight across the board for their education.
Oh, we have a motion and a second to rescind what we rescinded and go back with option 3.
the option 2 and go back to the original option 3 that we had initially voted for.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Mr. Montoya?
I have a question first before I answer. Ms. Ray? Is that totally doable under Robert's Rules of Orders? Can we just keep amending and amending and amending? I didn't hear that. Okay, no, I'm just asking a question, just for the sake of clarity. That's all I'm doing is asking.
Is Pat still on so that we can get a, who?
Mr. Bell's on there.
To get a legal,
Members,
Who invited Jermaine?
pursuant to Robert's Rules of Order, anyone who voted in the majority on the previous motion can motion to reconsider.
Okay.
Mr. Montoya?
So I'm voting to reconsider, is that what I'm doing?
so
You're voting to adopt- You're voting to adopt.
can I say
the-
something, since Candace got to say something? No, I'm just kidding. I hate but as far as the, who has cheater glasses? I'm at that age. There. It says a lack of funds is not an excuse for denying New Mexico students a sufficient education. That's part of Yazzie Martinez. The state must come up with the necessary funding to meet New Mexico students' right to a sufficient education. And that falls as far as Judge Singleton's equality pre-K, K3 plus, small class sizes, extended learning, sufficient funding for teacher recruitment, retention, training, culturally and linguistically relevant education, dual language, and social services. Thank you.
Mr. Montoya?
So the question to me again is, please clarify one more time, just so I'm straight. What am I saying yes to or no to?
Yes to 6.
What was the,
The original option 3.
so we're sending the second vote,
Yes. We're
and
going back to the
we're
original.
re-accepting the first vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Aspen?
Yes.
Ms. George?
Yes.
Before, yes, and again, that's support enough to have a letter drawn up and citing Yazzie Martinez. Thank you.
Yes.
Ms. Askey?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Can that be the last time we rescind that vote?
Yes.
I just wanted to make it clear.
Yes.
I say that for the sake of clarity, for the listening or can listen to the recording whenever they choose. Again, I'm not against adequacy. Trust me, I've gone through that case, I don't know how many times already in my education. I know what it says.
Item 8A, board member report. Do we have a report from a board member?
Yes, Mr. President, may I?
Please.
I will be attending, who's the other individual? Are you going to the Res Economic Summit? Are you going? Okay. Ms. Haskell, are you going?
No.
Were
You're going, I didn't hear the first part of what you said, Gary.
The Res Economic
I am not
Conference.
attending that.
All right, so, be going to attend the, Res Economic Summit in Las Vegas and hopefully be able to, because again, as we well know, economic development is very important on the reservation. And as we forward our education for our kids and developing programs and education around those economic opportunities. So that's why we're going out there and hopefully be able to express and explain some of the things that we're doing within the district. Because as I've stated to my colleagues in class, that they have to become involved with the economic circumstances around their communities, because we do as a board, it's very important, so. And when we get back for the next month, hopefully we'll have some good information to pass on to the rest of the board and the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any board member?
And, I guess along those lines, along those lines, I wish that superintendent was going. And, mainly, 'cause I think it's that important. And to build that, coalition, that networking. I mean, it's, and just to get out there what we're facing, because the last time we did attend, it was surprising, and then it seems like, I think the assumption is that there's already an assumption that we want to go one way, and then to hear other tribes, exploring or doing something, along the same as we are as a district, it just gives you that confidence, that we have common sense. But anyhow, I wish, we could all go and see that site, and, 'cause I think it's that important. It's probably more important than, I would say, than, NEIA. And, and then secondly, I just wanted to report that, I was asked, why did I hesitate on the superintendent's, vote? And I just replied with, that there was some things that I was concerned about, but I think it took care of itself, but most of all, they were pretty happy that he is here. And so there's that. And then I was hoping to get a report on the road that's going into Ojo. I don't know how many of you know that, but they're building or paving a road that's gonna go straight from 3005 down to the school. And they've already put in a sidewalk. I mean, it really looks different, and want to see how long that was gonna take, or what else is gonna happen on that.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anything else from the board? Carlson.
I just have a real quick, kind of more of an address than a report. I'll mostly be reading it because I wrote it out this morning, thinking about some things that are important to me, just to kind of let everybody know. Many of you seen that I've been sending out addresses weekly, and I know that many of you viewed them. I've continued sending these out to all staff and community members. There's two purposes for these addresses. The first is to keep staff and community members apprised and informed regarding various initiatives of the district. The second, and in my mind, more important, is to broadcast the accomplishments of our students and staff, because I think everybody needs to hear about those accomplishments. My goal will always be to promote our Central Consolidated communities and schools in a positive light, and to let everyone know that our students are as capable and as dedicated as any students in the state of New Mexico and in our country. And I'll try to broadcast that with my message every chance I get. I will seek ways to bring in good teachers for our students and to implement programs that give our students as many avenues for success as possible. We have a team in the central office who are devoted to these same goals. We have people who are working to provide housing, to provide free mental health support to address the social and emotional needs of our staff, and also to reduce staff insurance premiums, which you heard about, I believe, at the last meeting. We will continue to seek out ways to support our teachers and workers, and we will continue to promote Central Consolidated School District. For the rest of this report, I'd like to give a shout out to some of the people of Central Consolidated. First, I want to thank the board for giving me this opportunity to make positive changes that will affect the lives of our students. I would also like to thank all the teachers and staff of each of our buildings. We have some fantastic people who are devoting their lives to helping students, and anyone who has worked in our buildings for the last 2 years has endured 2 of the most difficult years that any of us can remember. So many educators have literally risked their lives to teach students in person. During these last 2 years, teachers and building staff members were some of the first responders during COVID. They provided the best possible education for our students once students returned to in-person learning. And they also learned lots of new ways to teach students. So thank you to all staff who work with children. This includes those who serve students food and take them to school and back home every day. Our bus drivers were working when there was no way that we could adequately social distance. And I don't know if you all read some of those reports that we send out about COVID cases, but our transportation folks were hit pretty hard. Central Consolidated also has many dedicated student support staff who work to make sure our buildings are running clean and safe, thanks to all the support staff of our district. Most importantly, I want to thank all the students who made it through these last couple of years. This generation of students has learned how to navigate online learning, and then they have had to cope with a learning situation that's been extremely challenging in the classroom. Because of these factors, there's been a certain amount of learning loss, but our students have also gained the ability, God bless you, gained the ability to cope and to adapt to any situation. And that has made these students resilient. This year's graduating classes are among the most resilient group of students we have ever produced. I want to wish a big, God bless you, I want to wish a big congratulations to all of this year's graduating seniors. There are 35 graduating seniors from Career Prep, 87 graduating seniors from Shiprock High School, 56 graduating seniors from Newcomb, and 132 graduating seniors from Kirtland Central High School. The 4-year graduation rates for CCSD seniors are 85% for Career Prep, 87% for Shiprock, 98% from Newcomb, and 90% from Kirtland Central High School. Almost all others, the numbers that you didn't hear there, almost all the rest of those students will be graduating this summer or next fall.
Wow,
These
that's
Central
great.
Consolidated graduating seniors have made it through high school, but they've also made it through a pandemic. They've learned that they are resilient and that they can adapt to anything. So congratulations to the classes of 2022. You make us all proud. That's what I have to say today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carlson. Number 9, requested action items and/or reports for the next meeting. Possible action and reports items for next meeting.
I have a request.
Okay.
I would like an update on the land lease for TBA. I understand that I was gonna be provided information in regards to the LFC's, request for change in language, and then the Navajo Nation DOJ, the follow-up in regards to the land lease and looking at the changes in the language. I like that information and where that stands. And then also, I would like to see if, I'm not sure who would be Superintendent, Carlson, interim Superintendent Carlson, if you could, also see if there would be options or interest in an IB program that we could start here, what that would entail. When we think about, services for our sped kids, I think we also need to remember that we have a huge pool, a large pool of gifted and talented students too, that could benefit from an IB program. So if that could be looked into and what that would entail.
What does that mean?
International baccalaureate program. So if that could be checked.
Any other items? Ms. George?
So if we can get a update on the CLIA license, if CCSD applied for one, or if they didn't. And then a report, an expenditure report for parents as teachers regarding their supplies and materials. And also end of the year report for the health office, the status of how many students were received in the health office report that they do at the end of the year. And then along with that, the reimbursements from Medicaid billing for nursing services.
Forgot one.
Nope, your time is past. Can't- You had your turn.
My colleagues don't have any.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I had asked for, the current MOUs that we have with, the local universities, colleges around the area, and, who we have those existing MOUs with, and are we fulfilling those obligations that we have with our partners? I wonder if I could get a report on how many we have out there and if we're fulfilling all those. That'd be great, thank you.
Anything else?
No,
Are
I'm
you-
done.
Are you
I'm
sure?
done. But wait, no.
Anyone else?
Yes. I know we talked about, I don't know how many months ago, but, about renaming a memorial for Mr. Manning. And how far are we, or what are we doing on that? And,
How do we go about that?
right. And, do we have a shop class at Bond Wilson?
Yes.
Or what about,
These things in front of you?
for the high school?
I don't know about the high school.
Not the bond, not the college part of it, but the high school. I'm just asking because.
I guess I don't understand your question.
For,
Ms. Asta.
to make a sign, a different sign.
These in front of you? It's made by Bond Wilson.
Is that the high school students too?
Uh-huh,
They are?
yes.
Yeah, I mean, if we could get them to make another sign to put here with Manning's name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, these were all, if you turn it over and look at them, this and anyway, I was really impressed when I saw them and learned where they came from.
Yeah.
I guess contact them and ask them, but we need to determine exactly what we're gonna call it
Mm-hmm.
and then have a motion to rename that. Is that what we do? Okay,
Mr. President, I have a question.
yes.
I didn't hear or see anything, Mr. Carlson, about, for the graduations regarding like any bags or, no bags, no drinks, no et cetera, that we usually have done. And I know that it's different for Newcomb, it's different for Shiprock, and it's different for Kirtland. I know that some allow and then some follow that protocol, but I haven't seen anything attached with the, with the announcements on that.
Okay, you wanted to find out? I mean, I'll email it.
Yeah, please.
So we can do that just as an email rather than for the next meeting?
Yes.
Oh, and I do, oh, never mind. Never mind.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Absolutely. Okay.
yeah.
Next item, Plus and Delta from board members.
I'll start. If I can, if I may.
You may.
The positives, we're gonna leave here before midnight. That's a positive. It's still today, the 17th. Like I stated before, interim superintendent, Carlson, I am very appreciative of the communication with the board and the transparency, the information that you've been disseminating and sharing with us. That's been very refreshing, and those are positives. And I think the meeting, all the information that's being shared is reflective of your communication with us. So I think those are the positives. And the deltas, I said I need to be out of here by 10:30, but I'm still here at 11:05, so
We love
I'm
you.
okay with that.
Get your room and don't drive clear to Page. Get your room in Kayenta. Anyone else? Ms. George?
Just, I give a good shout out to Mr. Carlson for the way he carries himself and the way he shows his leadership and the way he communicates with the board and with the schools and the community. And I believe that we're moving in a positive way, and just kudos to everybody here on the board too, as working can't even say it's late, working together, and yeah. and just collaborative, yes. And, just really working for our students and, yeah.
Ms. Asmus?
Oh, a plus would be May 28th.
in a delta would be June 8th. Thank you.
Mr. Montoya? I have nothing. Can I need a motion to adjourn? Do I have a second? Been moved and seconded that we adjourn. Mr. Montoya?
Yes.
Ms. Aspas?
Yes.
Ms. George?
Yes.
Ms. Haskey?
Yes.
Myself, yes. This meeting is adjourned.